It is now precisely 7 o'clock.
Springbok Radio presents World News and Africa Survey.
Good morning. My name is Wynand de Tooy, and today is the 7th of January 2026, Wednesday morning, and I greet you all here from the banks of the Great River in the Northern Cape of South Africa. We all know what happened and what is dominating the world news, and that is the snatch operation by the Delta Force, Special Forces troops of the United States, of Maduro, Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, who have been snatched from his home during this operation, and then very quickly was taken to the United States of America, and where he is now in custody. And there's all kinds of theories behind the reasons for Maduro's capture and what is happening surrounding it. But I think for the other few remaining communist states in the world, Cuba, Colombia, and I think to a lesser extent the Democrats in the United States of America, and the ANC government here in South Africa, for them it's a sad day to see another communist state disappear from the map. But of course, South Africa has close ties with all these different groupings. And we also know that South Africa is now on the bad side of the United States current Trump administration, and that they have made themselves a target as well with their attitude towards the United States, their arrogance, the way how they actually challenge the United States, and in the way they support Hamas, Palestine, and all those funny, weird states. But nonetheless, South Africa has jumped to this opportunity to once again influence the world, and this time it was at the United Nations. And this person rightfully asked the question, why does South Africa rush to defend Nicolas Maduro, a narco-dictator whose regime floods the world with cocaine, killing millions through drugs, while the US finally takes decisive action against this terrorist-linked thug? The ANC hypocritically condemns America and the United Nations for violating sovereignty, yet cozy up to Hamas terrorists, back rogue regimes like Venezuela, and ignore their own backyard disasters. Meanwhile, at home, farm murders continue unchecked. President Ramaphosa's dodges, corruption scandals, and racist BEE laws discriminate against white Afrikaners, blocking jobs and opportunities in the names of empowerment. South Africa protects foreign criminals abroad, but fails its own citizens at home. Time to stop the selective outrage and fix the real problems first. And then we also see a comment here from Ernst Roets. South Africa representatives at the United Nations say all nations have the right to self-determination, and that one nation cannot control or dominate over another. I suspect that they forgot that South Africa is, in fact, a state inhabited by a variety of nations. I also want to thank Ernst Roots for pointing out that we are no longer a so-called rainbow nation, that we are different nations. And that the Afrikaner nation in South Africa is very different from that of the Zulu nation or the Xhosa nation or the ANC supporters. We got different cultures, different language, which we prefer to speak, different ways of thinking, of doing, of building, creating, also by maintaining what we have built to see that it can function for many decades to come. But that is something which is not acknowledged in South Africa. Instead, they are marginalizing the white Afrikaner grouping. And as we can see here, Brett Ben Raphael said, just amazing how vocal and robust the ANC is on foreign policy. But not a peep on the total implosion of life here under their control. 80 murders and 135 rapes per day. Not a peep. Illegals flooding our borders. Not a peep. Gargantuan fraud and looting. Well, let's argue if he's a nephew of Ramaphosa or not. So there's a lot of voices going up about the reaction of the ANC, who first jumped to the floor in the United Nations condemning the United States. But they should actually withhold themselves from the international stage. But they are now typical as the dog that barks the loudest is the dog that is most afraid. A silent dog bites before it barks. A cowardice dog barks and never bites. And that is what we are seeing in South Africa. There's so many things that they should attend to resolve for the citizens of this country, all of them, to provide basic work, income, the right to exist to all residents of South Africa. And that is not happening here, but instead they focus on the world. They are actually taking on the biggest country, one of the biggest countries in the world, and perhaps one of the strongest military forces in the world. I understood from Hexet, the Secretary of Defense, or the Secretary of War nowadays in the United States, where he said that at a stage there were about 120 aircraft simultaneously in the skies over Venezuela on the 3rd of January. South Africa don't have one serviceable fighter aircraft. But we threaten the United States. South Africa threatens the United States, daring them, just like the Colombian president are daring Donald Trump to arrest him, to come and fetch him, and how they will fight back. But in South Africa, we got to ask the question, with what are you going to fight back? And how? And with whom? But still, they keep on shouting, they keep on making waves where they should actually go extremely quiet and fix the problems that exist in South Africa. Declare farm attacks and farm murders a priority crime. Stop the BEE nonsense. Get people equal opportunities. Boost private investments, encourage private business, because they are the people that are creating jobs, who are creating wealth and provides a possible survival to South Africa. But that's not going to happen. So we will become more and more isolated, more and more pushed into a corner until the point where everything collapses, where no politics is going to play a role and no politics is going to save anybody from anything or anybody, where there will be a civil war potentially in South Africa, where everyone will have to fight and tend for himself or for your family or the people around you or those members who are part of your Armageddon organization who's preparing themselves for the day of total collapse, which is what we are doing as the SBB organization here in the Northern Cape, although we are spread out throughout South Africa. And we are not a threat to anybody. We only have a need to survive, a need for survival and the right to live. Instead of fighting for the welfare of the citizens of South Africa, they prefer to grandstand all the situations like this snatch operation of Maduro on an international stage. They should refrain from doing that and focus more and more on the welfare of South Africa in the way forward in South Africa. But I think the ANC will definitely probably lose the next election. But typical African state, they won't relinquish their power. They will stay in power. They will use any possible means from the same voting machines that is absolutely now in play in the United States. All the election fraud that has happened there, we can probably find that same election fraud here in South Africa. But they will even use power, misuse power to stay in the seats in government and not relinquish power to anybody else. The problem the United States are facing with South Africa is that if they organize a regime change in South Africa, how do you replace one shit government with another shit government? So what are their choices? Their choices are few. But then also due to what has been happening in the world over the past couple of days, we have seen notices coming up jokingly, like this one here on Cyril Ramaphosa, where Kelly Schlesinger said, "I'm devastated by this illegal capture of Maduro and elected head of state by Trump. I live in a constant fear of my beloved leader, Cyril Ramaphosa, who lives in Brentirian Estate, Pretoria, South Africa, coordinates and giving the coordinates share the same fate. He's often home early in the evenings." And I've even saw one for Macron in France, and then also another warning to the UK. Beware, the English channel might change to the George Washington channel. So there's a lot of banter, there's a lot of joking about this situation, but you will also notice the dissatisfaction that people have with their current leaders right throughout the world, whether it's in France, in England, Germany, or South Africa. Total disaffection. And the question is, what is going to happen next? Is there a country that is going to be next? Is Greenland indeed going to be the next to be annexed by the United States, Panama perhaps, South Africa, Europe? But Donald Trump is playing a game where he is busy dismantling the elite globalists, the global elites, taking their power away, their financial power, slowly, steadily eroding it. Because Venezuela was the pathway for the globalists, where there was money, where they have passed through the drug trades, weapons smuggling all over the world. And we know the global elites is also very, very active here in South Africa. Bear in mind, to become part of our Armageddon organization, SBB, for the day when things went south. Enjoy this morning your condensed milk flavored coffee, and I'll be back with you in English next week, Wednesday. You must have a beautiful day and be strong, be aware, be awake, and stay alive.